Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, June 1st, a new month, and we are here with Bebop. Now, I'd like to get right to, I think, the important news, which is Acro is fine, of course. I tried to make that pretty clear in the comments of yesterday's close-up so that people would know, but we still got a ton of questions about whether Acro is okay. So let me give you some of the details about that, which is that first off, after the close-up yesterday, as soon as I ended it, Acro went directly to his food bowl, walking normally, and filled himself up on food. Then I continued to observe him, and he was walking around just perfectly normally. So my suspicion was that he just, he was sitting on his leg for a while. Maybe he sort of cut it off and cut off the supply there. Where you say my leg fell asleep, you get up and it's kind of hard to walk at first. That's kind of what I think happened. Probably that he was sitting on it funny, and then when he jumped up all of a sudden, it wasn't quite working right. Probably. Now, just in the interest of full disclosure, though. I have noticed now that I've been watching real closely that he may have a little weakness in his back leg. That's not what you saw yesterday. It's very subtle. But fortunately, whatever happened yesterday led me to observe him more closely. So we're checking it out, and I was already a little bit, thinking about whether he's okay or not because his behavior's shown some changes over at least the last week. He's sleeping in some different places than he usually sleeps, for instance. So yeah, it may be a little bit of, he may be starting to get a little arthritis. He's not a young man anymore. Um, or it could be any number of things. Who knows? What I do know is that Bebop's going to go use the litter box like she always does so that I can't show her, even though she's the only cat in the room. So let me show you my shirt instead while I tell you. There we go. I'm wearing the new Maggie t-shirt. I ordered it in black because I thought it would look really nice. But my problem with the black version is that it shows every little bit of cat hair, and I've got a ton of cat hair. This thing is impossible. I'm going to have to order one in a different color, but I love this art of Maggie doing all of her various things by one of our favorite artists, Umbra Love. This is, I think there's an ad for this shirt, I think probably right under this video, under all of our videos, but otherwise it's on our Teespring store. It's one of the newer designs, and it's Maggie in a bowl, and Maggie with little notes flying around her tail, which is that happened during a mailbag. There's a GIF on our Discord server of the time that I was in the mailbag and she walked past a sticky note and it stuck to her tail like a flag, and it was really cute. So I think that's what inspired this drawing. And just here's her just showing off her big floofy tail and dancing, and another very cool like tail splash thing. And actually, I can't tell in the reverse what that is. Is that her with her mouse? I think. Yeah, I think that's her with her little. Oh, that's her mousey and the string toy, just like in those pictures I posted yesterday. There we go. Anyway, they're great. And now we are out of the litter box, so we can go back to actually showing you Kittens' cats. Well, I've continued to talk to you about Acro real quick. So the thing I was going to say about Acro is just making sure that we've covered all of our bases. He was just at the vet like 2 or 3 months ago for a checkup because we've been keeping an eye on his kidneys, a real close eye on his kidneys. But I called the vet today, and we've scheduled to bring him in tomorrow with Gabby. The vet says that they've been just crazy busy lately, but if we wanted to bring him in with Gabby and leave him there, they would find time to examine him sometime during the day, and then I could pick him up at the end of the day with Gabby. It's really nice of them to offer to do that for us. I know they didn't have to do it that way, um, but it's a really sweet of them. They always find a way to squeeze us in, no matter how busy they are. And I really appreciate that because our vet, Dr. Katz at Aristocats, they're a very lean operation. There's just really the four of them now. There were just three. They had the lady that is the receptionist, the tech and the doctor, and that's it. And now they have another person too, who I think is sort of a second tech, but I also think he's just sort of uh, like a gopher. Like he does a little bit of everything. He's sort of the I don't know what you call it. I would use a sports analogy here if I had somebody like that, but I don't. Um, he's just the guy that plays all of the bases. See how well I did at that. Anyway, okay, that's enough about Acro. The bottom line is that whatever you saw yesterday was probably nothing. Utility player, thank you. That is exactly what I'm looking for. But um, whatever we saw yesterday during the stream, that hasn't happened again. I'm sure, like I said, his leg probably just fell asleep and he jumped up in a hurry. But nonetheless, he's going to the vet tomorrow, and we will check things out. So there you have it. Now let's talk about Beboop for just a second, because I don't know if you have noticed, but I noticed that last night Beboop had her behavior change a little bit. Specifically, I noticed that she started laying on this bed, which she would never touch before. She had a little nap behind the infinity scratcher, which is a new place for her. And she took a long time sleeping next to the bed here on the little corner of the blanket in between it and the scratching post, which is another new place for her to lie. Now, that may be nothing, or it may indicate just the beginnings of some nesting sort of behavior, like she's looking around for a new place to sit, or it could just mean that she's getting much bigger, and maybe she's just trying to find a new way to get comfortable. So it may not be anything, or it might be something, but it's definitely different. The other thing that we've noticed that's different about her, come over here and say hello to us. Come on. I know you're very uncomfortable. The other thing I've noticed that's different about her since yesterday is that she has been sneezy, very sneezy. And I don't know why we can't hear those sneezes on the regular live stream, because we hear everything else. When she goes and crunches on her food, it wakes me up at night because I've got her volume turned way up. It's so loud. But there's been a lot of question from people about when they see her whole body sort of twitch. Is it a contraction, or is it the baby's kicking? It's neither of those things. It's a sneeze. And when you're in the room, it's real obviously a sneeze, but I don't know why you can't tell on the stream. And now that I'm talking about it, I'm going to sneeze. Give me 1 second. Oh. Okay. Nope, not going to do it. All right. I was just about to, though. Anyway, so she's been very sneezy in the last 24 hours, and I don't know why. But right now, my theory is that I have also been very sneezy in the last 24 hours, and I think it may, hopefully, fingers crossed, be allergies, because for me, it's definitely allergies. For her, I hope it's allergies, because that would be nice. It's something that, we don't have to worry about too much or necessarily address. And we may even be able to just give her some allergy meds. We keep Zyrtec for the cats. Smokey has allergies and gets Zyrtec on the regular. So I will talk to our doctor today about whether she thinks we can give a little Zyrtec to her if it's safe. But yes, Sophia Nymph, exactly my suspicion. I had her window open a crack all day yesterday. I went out, I cut all the grass, I stirred up a ton of pollen and dust, and I could see it as I was mowing. I could see all the dust that I was throwing into the air. It was very clear. So it could very well be the fact that I had her window open yesterday and I mowed yesterday right out in front of her room. Could be what brought it on. It would make just too much sense. Too much. So hopefully that's all there is to it. But I want you to know I'm keeping an eye on it. And I also want you to know that if you see her do what looks like sort of a full body twitch, it might just be a sneeze. That would be my theory right now. Of course, that's going to make it very difficult to tell when she starts having contractions, because they really do look a lot the same, especially when she's just laying there on the stream. Of course, the sneeze is accompanied with a bit of a sound, but again, for some reason, I don't think that the camera's picking her sneeze sound up right. I don't know why. Anyway, the good news is the fact that she's been sneezy for the last 24 hours had me worried that she wasn't going to be feeling good and that she wouldn't have eaten enough and she wouldn't gain enough weight. that turns out to not be the case. We had an excellent gain last night from her. 0.3 pounds, I want to say. Although I'm not looking at the weight sheet, it was a lot. Either way, it was a very good gains, and I'm super happy about it. So almost happy enough to go flood the kitchen, if that's how we celebrate now. I think it is. So that is the Acro and Bebop report for today. I don't think there's anything else that I need to say about her at the moment. Like I said, though, I am going to keep an eye on her sneeze, and if it turns out that it's gets worse, it's clearly not allergies or anything else, then we'll have to deal with that when it comes up. But for now, I think it's just allergies. I think she's fine. And like I said, she's been eating and gaining weight just great, which is our number one consideration. Plus, she had the good poops. So, except for the fact she's a little sneezy, she seems like she is doing great. I mean, really great. I didn't check the milk this morning. I usually have a milk report in the morning, but I did check again last night late, and there was still nothing. So I can tell you that much. So there you have it. Just one last thing on Bebop, which is I know we're all real anxious for her to have her babies, but of course we all want her to have them when the time is right, and we don't know when that time is. So there's certainly no reason to think that she's overdue just because the vet thought she would go sooner doesn't mean that she's overdue. It just means that it's very difficult for us to guess when she should be due. And for my part, at least, I think I tried to mention this yesterday. I was doing some rough calculations, and I would really like to see her take a little longer about it and gain another pound before she has her kittens. And at the rate she's going, she might gain another pound in the next 4 days if she keeps it up. So that would be nice, right? Um, but but who knows? I mean, she could also decide to deliver today, and I'd be fine with that as long as all the kittens are good. I'm happy about it. Um, which leads me to one last thing, which I think I did say yesterday. Also, I may have just messed up the chat, at least for myself, because all of a sudden I hit something wrong with the chat button. Oh no, people are still talking. Okay, good, good, good. Um, I did say yesterday, I know a lot of people are sort of concerned about her delivery, and all I want to say on that topic is that, we had all those same concerns when we first brought her to the vet a week ago. We talked to the vet about them, and the vet says there's no reason to be concerned. She expects a fine delivery, but we also discussed contingency plans just in case anything does go wrong. We're all prepared for all of that, so no worries. We've really got it covered. Um, and I should say, when I say we've really got it covered, this is a good chance first off, this is a good chance for me to walk downstairs while I'm talking to you so we can see the kittens. But it's also a good chance for me to say thank you to all of you that are our Patreons, because the Patreons, that is where we are supported. As you know, uh, excuse me. As you know, we avoid a lot of the advertising on YouTube, especially on the regular live stream. Now, on these close-ups, we allow some ads, but on the regular live stream, we don't allow ads, and there's some reasons for that, which I can talk about if I don't have enough to ramble about already. But the bottom line is that the vast majority of how these kittens are supported is through Patreon donations, and you guys are really generous. And when it comes to things like making sure that we have all those contingency plans in place for Bebop, you guys are the ones that really make that easy. I shouldn't say possible, because I've always said I feel like DJ and I made a commitment that we would hopefully do all the same things regardless, hopefully. But thanks to all of you, we don't have to find out. We don't have to really ever know. All that we have to know now is that you guys have definitely helped us cover all of that in a way that is fantastic. So, so we're super prepared, and a big part of that is just completely thank you to you, all of you Patreons, I should say, for that. Now, everybody who's watching gets some credit for helping us out here, but it's the Patreons that make those vet decisions very, very easy for us to make, and I really do appreciate it. All right. Anyway, enough about that for the moment. These kittens had their night in the spa last night, and they had a good time. And I think they are a little worn out. There's a lot of yawns in evidence here this morning, um, which is cute. They spent the night just basically being kittens, as you might expect. They hung out a lot with their mom, who was up there too. And they did a bunch of nursing, and they did a bunch of running around, they did a bunch of playing, and they did a bunch of sleeping, and it was basically just everything you would expect. I really enjoyed it. There were some great snugglers, and Banter surprised me again by being a bigger snuggler than I would have expected. But they all snuggled a lot, and it was fun. Also, they all have discovered the game of playing under the blankets, and that seems to be one of the favorite things. Except Gabby still doesn't quite understand it, and gets I don't know. I can't tell if she's concerned or if she just wants to play when they're under the blanket. But she gets very interested when the kittens go under the blanket, and she won't go under the blanket herself. She can't figure it out. So it's cute though. Also, I should mention, because I know people are like, oh, her adopters are going to have headphones. She didn't make a noise all night. And now, and first thing in the morning, once I woke up, she started talking again. But she can definitely go for a long time without talking. She just talks when she has something to say, whether it's let me out of the room, or kittens come and nurse, or where's Ari? But when she doesn't have anything to say, she doesn't. Just so you know, you guys probably hear her talk constantly because she's in the room and she wants out. So there's that. And as you remember, tomorrow is her spay day. Like I said, I'm bringing her in with Acro tomorrow. She's going to get spayed. Hopefully they don't mix that up and spay Acro. That would be a mess. I meant that to be humorous. I don't know if that was funny or not, but obviously they're not going to mix it up. So Gabby's spay tomorrow. I think that spay is going to make her feel a lot better, and it might give her a little less to talk about, which might be nice for her too. Also, I got my fingers crossed that it also helps reduce some of her sort of, I wouldn't say aggressive, but very defensive sort of position towards the faculty. I honestly think that she's trying to sort of protect her kittens. When you guys see her take a swing at the faculty, she's just telling them to back off and stay away from her things. And I know I've said this plenty of times. I think the way that she does it is pretty acceptable. It's a good cat interaction because she's not actually trying to hurt anybody, and she doesn't pursue them. She just sort of takes a swing at them and tells them to back off, and they do, and it's fine. The thing that really makes it sort of disturbing, of course, is when she does it with Maggie, because Maggie's a drama queen, and if a cat swipes at Maggie, she makes so much noise. It's crazy. It's like fighting raccoons, like just so much sound and fury, but signifying nothing. So Maggie's fine. In fact, most of the time when you see that happen, Maggie doesn't even get touched, and she still just makes all the noise in the world, screaming murder. So, yeah. So really, though, I think that those interactions are pretty good as far as it goes. Obviously, we would prefer not to have it happen at all. But on the range of cat interaction, that's the kind of thing that we are prepared to accept as a good interaction, as long as whoever the faculty is decides to take the correction and go away, and not, then start a fight in return, which so far nobody has, which is good. So that's that. What news can I tell you about these kittens besides the fact that they are adorable? I weighed them this morning. I weighed everybody this morning. Everybody is good weights. They're all doing fine. This is a little banter. Blarney here. Sorry, Blarney. I know who you are. It's two B names for two kittens that look kind of similar. DJ's really testing me, I think. Oh, yes. Hey, I see Sandy is on the chat. Sandy sent me some selfies of her and Brooke together. They are adorable. I plan on sharing some of those on our Discord. And I also know that that's Sandy, who's is Brooke's adopter, by the way, if you guys don't know. Sandy also, I'm told, has been sharing some of that on our community page on Facebook, the Kitten Academy community page on Facebook. That I haven't seen for myself because Lisa manages our Facebook, and I usually don't have the time to stop in on the Facebook. But I understand that if you are on the Facebook, you can check that out and see some updates on Brooke there. Also, I understand that Sandy tells us that Brooke is doing great. I mean, just great. And Sandy, I can't tell you how heartwarming it is for me to know that Brooke has gone to someone who not only cares for her so much, but really is capable of, that knows what they're doing with cats and with Brooke, and is just a great pet owner in general. So it's fantastic, Sandy. Thank you so much for being who you are and for the updates. Really appreciated. Gabby's still talking. Oh, I'll see what these two are doing. What are you literally up to there, kiddos? So that's scuttlebutt on the branches. Oh, and now both of them over here. That's Banter biting. Scuttlebutt, what are you staring at? Are you looking at the YouTubers? Yeah, it is. It's interesting. I believe that there's a lot of potential good outcomes that Brooke could have had, and if it weren't Sandy, then I know that Brooke still would have found something eventually that was right for her. But I do think that this goes to the point that I've tried to make before, which is when an adoption falls through, it almost always turns out to be to the great benefit of the cat involved and to the adopter too. I know that. So, I'd said that when Brooke came back from her first adopter, I said, it's probably for the best for everybody. And now it's very easy to say that. It definitely was for the best for everybody. It definitely was. I know Sandy's happier, and I know Brooke is happier, and it just turned out to be great. Just like with Baba Ganoush when he came back. So that's what we have learned to expect from that, I guess. You two are very cute. I don't know what you look so concerned about, though, Scuttlebutt. You look like you've got a concern. What are you looking at out there? Are there bees? We've got a lot of bees because we have a lot of flowering going on. Little bumblebees, the friendly, soft, fuzzy ones. You just want to pet them. They're like tiny flying kittens, bumblebees are. Tiny, fat, flying kittens. Excuse me. I don't actually see them, though. I just imagine that's what you kids must be looking at. Oh, there he is. I do see him. Oh, do you see it moving right there? They're so fuzzy, little bumblebees are. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. Probably more of my allergies. Oh, he's right in that closest flower. Yeah, I climbed in there. There we go. He's checking them all out. That's fun to watch, isn't it? Although maybe not as fun as I am, because now you're just watching me. I'm not that entertaining. Oh boy, I think I mentioned, I don't know if it was during yesterday's close up. I think it was that I yesterday I made steak. I get Blue Apron. That's a whole other story. And one of the things that they had sent me yesterday was a meal that it was included some steak, which I don't normally eat. And I shared it with all the cats. And I think I mentioned in yesterday's close up that Gab didn't get any before the close up of that. I'd saved some for her. She got it last night and she was crazy for it. She has a whole different meow that she makes too when she's got some food that she really wants. She's got a real vocabulary. It was it was cute, and she was so desperate for it that when I tried to give some more to her kittens, she would just rush right in and try to grab it away from them. It was very cute. She liked it quite a bit. So that was sweet. And there's still some leftovers to give her later on. That was one of the kittens playing with her tail there. Oh, there's more. Oh, yeah, that's a fun toy. Oh, okay. Well, that ended though. Sorry, Blarney. Gonna have to find a different toy other than Mom's tail. Oh, I guess your sister Scuttlebutt'll do. That's fun to say, Scuttlebuttle. I don't know why I'm the most interesting thing for all of you kittens to be doing. Why don't you do something else so that we can watch you? What is this game? What is this game, Banter? All right. Well, I think that's probably gone on long enough for this morning. Plus, I have some more garden work that I want to try to get done today because our weather's it's cool but sunny. It's a perfect day to wrap that up. So I should get to it. But let me say thank you so much for joining me and the kittens this morning. Excuse me, my goodness. Thank you so much for your concern about Acro and all the cats. I do appreciate it. I hope that I never sound like I'm uh, overwhelmed by the concern. Sometimes there can be a lot, but we've got Lisa to help out with the emails and stuff, and it's really appreciated. I do greatly appreciate everybody, and I also think a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times it is helpful. There's been many times that you folks, YouTubers, have pointed out things that I didn't notice that turned out to later be important. So it is helpful. So thank you for that. Um, Also, I earlier I said thank you to all the Patreons for making things so easy for us vet-wise. I really do appreciate that greatly. I want to point out real quick that means for the kittens that we foster, not for our faculty. That's still something that I know you guys don't donate for Acro. That's something that we take care of ourselves. Um, but when it comes to the kittens and Bebop and stuff, it's so appreciated. Also, then I want to say thank you to everybody else too, because well, the Patreons help us out with our financial concerns very well and our vet concerns. Thank you so much. Everybody helps with our mission overall, which is to get these kittens adopted and just getting the word out about Kitten Academy, sharing it with your friends, and especially just watching raises our numbers, which changes how much YouTube likes us, which gets us more visibility. So even just watching, if you're listening to me right now, it is really, you are helping. So thank you for that. Also, one other people to say thank you to, which are the mods on the chat. Thank you guys so much. You do a lot to make all of this possible, the chatting possible, and I appreciate it. So that is it. Just a quick recap for people that came in late. Acro is fine. He really is fine, but we are taking him to the vet tomorrow just to sort of triple check that he's fine. Gabby is going to the vet tomorrow for her spay. These kittens have their next vaccine scheduled on the 8th. And Bebop has been sneezy. I think it's allergies. We're keeping an eye on it. A lot of good reasons to think it's allergies. But if you notice her sort of twitching, it's going to be real hard to tell if it was a sneeze or if it's a contraction. So that's going to be a fun game for us all to play. Sneeze or contraction? We'll find out. So far, it's all sneezes though. So we'll keep an eye on it, like I said. All right. Well, that's it. Thanks, everybody. Scuttlebutt, say goodbye to everybody. Or just fall asleep. That's fine too. We will see you all for a close-up again tomorrow. Although tomorrow's close-up might be a little late since I'll be taking the cats to the vet first thing. Then I'll come back and we'll do it. So there you have it.